What do Yoruba people and the Inuit have in common when it comes to raising children? Turns out much more than you think. An anthropologist named Jane Briggs, who lived with the Inuit families in 1960s, noted how the adults were always avoiding getting angry. They believed that when you yell at a child, you're teaching them to yell. So instead, they taught children through stories or through modeling behavior. Now, thousands of miles away in Yoruba land, the parenting style might look different, but is similar. When children misbehave in Yoruba culture, the response is often rooted in storytelling. Once the moon comes up and it's getting to nighttime, you'll see children gathering around elders at night. Because parenting was communal in Yoruba culture, this would take place in Agbole, that is the extended household, where their aunties, uncles, grandparents are all living together. The children will crowd around this elderly figure and listen to tales by the moonlight. These would be stories that teach lessons. So there were typically two types of stories. We have the Alo Akbamo, which are riddles, and these help sharpen the critical thinking skills. And the next one is Alo Akbagbe, which are tales, but often include call and response. That is, there are some layers of songs in there. For instance, there's this story my grandpa told me, and it goes like, Ino pupa beleje, Aranta ojo funfun bolojo, Aranta. So we the children would say the Aranta part. That's the response. Aranta kakafeno mafojo, Aranta ojo loko agbado, Aranta. I think the story was about a woman that was being wooed by fire and rain, and she would rather marry rain than marry fire. Basically, I think this story teaches us that fire destroys and we should be careful around fire, and rain is good because it helps us grow crops and things like that. We also had stories about Ijakpa Ologmoewe. That is tortoise story, because tortoise was very cunning. It was a good and perfect character to pin all the bad things on. One other creative method for parenting in Yoruba culture is sending a child to search for the mystical Arudo. It was a way to gently redirect children without beating them. Another tactic used to teach children and shape behavior is proverbs. These sayings allow adults to correct while still honoring the child's self-worth. Last I would mention is corporal punishment. One thing I've noticed is that corporal punishment is actually very common in religious settings like Islamic schools and missionary schools. Corporal punishment was very common, and I've been to both. I've been to Ilekewu and I've also been to a missionary school, and they beat children there. So I'm not quite sure if this was something introduced or if it's always existed in Yoruba community.